My name is Amy Wright. I am a credentialed interior designer with over 15 years of experience. I began the Green Tape Measure in 2025, initially as an extension of my software training services. However, after reflecting on my career and on conversations with other designers, I decided to expand into advocacy. Over the course of my interior design career, I had been mislabeled as a decorator and as an architect. The work environments were often highly toxic. I had been gaslighted and yelled at by managers, manipulated and betrayed by coworkers, and I've had my skills and qualifications misrepresented to hiring managers. I have had to become accustomed to a lack of job security. Being laid off actually became routine for me. So I often get asked why I did not just become an architect. Well, first of all, as per our research, interior design and architecture are two separate professions entirely, and one is not better than another. In fact, I have worked under architects before who have created unsafe interior passive egress. Second of all, I have attempted to get an architecture degree 3 times. I applied to in-state programs with a portfolio of drafting samples, both hand-drawn and AutoCAD. Unfortunately, I was not accepted to in-state programs. I also did not know at that time if I wanted to major in architecture or interior design. Then the second time, after I got my Bachelor of Science in Interior Design, I actually was accepted to and began attending a Master of Architecture program. About 2 years in, I decided to leave because there was a lot of bias towards interior designers, and it was impacting things like my grades and also just my well-being. Then the third time, even after having years of professional experience and currently working as a professional designer, I applied to another design program, architecture program, to try and finish up my Master of Architecture degree. However, after applying, they decided that they would not accept my existing NAAB accredited coursework. So from my experiences, the entries and the barrier into architecture are very substantial and costly. So after all of these experiences, I want to know if I was alone, and if not, the cause. So I began researching our industry, and I found a number of alarming events. First of all, in the late 2000s, despite parallel regulation for architects, the regulation of the title interior designer was ruled as a violation of free speech. Then in the 2010s, architects were permitted to join interior design organizations at the same membership level as credentialed interior designers, but without the same credential. Today, we see architects who are not interior designers leading chapters of these organizations, including student chapters in architecture degree programs. In 2021, the American Institute of Architects, also known as the AIA, suddenly became more open to interior design regulation. Shortly following this announcement, interior design organizations joined up and began promoting the idea of reasonable regulation of interior design. What this actually means in practice is a deregulation of interior design, because it promotes the idea of voluntary title acts. And what we have seen in the bills that have been recently passed and that are being proposed are interior designers and the interior design profession being put under a board of architects, in which they are often outnumbered by not just architects, but engineers as well. And they will be given permitting privileges in which interior designers can stamp and sign and submit their own drawings. But it's hiding the fact that there are many restrictions being placed on interior designers, anywhere from square footage restrictions to various other restrictions that in the end, interior designers won't be able to use their stamp and signing privileges anyway. So we urge interior designers to read the bills in their states thoroughly, both your current ones and ones being proposed, and fully understand how it impacts your profession and your practice. Lastly, today we are also seeing architects using a title called interior architect. Interior architecture is actually interior design. Interior architecture degree programs are accredited by the same organization that accredits interior design programs, not architecture. And in fact, students that graduate with an interior architecture degree are not legally allowed to call themselves interior architects because the title architect is regulated. As such, the green tape measure is hoping to put control of the interior design profession back in the hands of interior designers. We are presenting data, facts, and research to educate stakeholders on the importance of interior design and its impact on public safety in order to influence inclusive regulation of interior design so that all qualified interior designers can obtain an interior design license without the costly barriers that we see in other professions such as architecture. This could take the form of different pathways to licensure or different exams entirely for licensure, one for commercial, one for residential design. Either way, interior design should be regulated. To learn more about us, our research, our positions on regulation, and ways that you can help, please visit our website at thegreentapemeasure.org and follow our social media handles at GTmeasure. We look forward to working with all stakeholders as we work towards a future for the interior design profession that is recognized, regulated, and respected. Thank you.